run through the tape. In life, never give up, run through the tape.
24 minutes in the books in Houston at Toyota Center. James Harden, game high 16 at the half, and the Rockets trying to take a 2-0 lead over the Mavs, lead it by a deuce, 53-51. Sprint halftime report. Studio J here in Atlanta. Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley.
You okay?
Kenny the Jet Smith.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal.
You sure?
Was a grimace for?
That was an interesting half of basketball.
It was kind of hard to define what we just saw.
It was like the bench players played better than the starters. It was like a battle of bench guys, to be honest. It was very interesting to watch. Couldn't get a grasp of that game.
I will tell you this. The team leading at the half through the playoffs so far is now 12-0. Rockets lead by 2.
Good, we're off for the rest of the night.
No. Let me ask you about something that we saw with Rajon Rondo and James Harden. And just kind of take me through this clip of what we're watching.
Well, it's about positioning. You know what I mean? And it's establishing position and saying, I'm not going to just let you have an easy night in the post in any way you get the ball, even though you're the best scorer in basketball right now. That's all that's about. But
and the ref's just getting in the way.
Yeah, but the one thing that Rondo has to do is, I think, mentally be more engaged offensively. You know, as much as he is, here jousting and playing around in the post, early in the game, I thought the Mavericks got off to a slow start because he wasn't engaged offensively, and then here's the foul that come with it. But Ernie and Charles and I was talking about this in the back, he had an 8-second violation early in the game where he kind of walked the ball up court. And
Rondo's not engaged, Ernie.
He wasn't engaged.
He's not engaged in this game.
Now,
he's distracted.
Some kind of way because
he's ready for free agency.
He's a guy who, I don't know if he's ready. I don't know what the distraction is, but I would say that he's a guy who could dominate his position. Jason Terry shouldn't be able to stay in front of him. I mean, the Jet is the Jet. I love him to death, but he's older in his career, and he can't stay in front of him.
Yeah, Rondo's not engaged in the game.
Like we have seen the problems too, Chuck. I mean, going back to when he and Carlisle had a problem, and even Mark Cuban before the playoffs. He hasn't been the fit that we thought he had been, but
he's not
that maybe that could change in the playoffs.
But he's not playing with energy.
Yeah.
The one thing about Rondo, he always played with great energy. And now he's just kind of going through the motions. Because, we're sitting there with Isaiah Thomas, and we're like, did he just get an 8-second call? Like in a playoff game, he was walking the ball up the court, got an 8-second call. Then on the next play, he kind of just stood there, and he came down and hit a 3. So he's just not engaged, plain and simple.
I agree with what both you guys are saying. There's obviously something still going on with Rondo. I don't know if he's still having beef with Carlisle. But to Rondo's defense, Rondo is the type of point guard that you can't have him look at you and call every play. You just have to let him go. You just have to trust him. And I play with 2 type coaches, but tonight he's not really engaged. Right here, usually the Rondo that we've seen, the magnificent Rondo, he would have brought that out. This right here,
oh my God,
he would have judged it a little better and tried to make a better pass.
And watch this, Ernie.
And this right here. See, he's looking at Carlisle, worrying about the play. The old Rondo would have just, hey, it's my team. Let me go up and control it. So, to Rondo's defense, he's the type of guy you can't.
Now watch the play here, Kenny.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, I don't know if
Now watch this here.
Have him look at you every play. So
I didn't notice that, Shaq.
Yeah,
he was checking out.
Looking at Carlo for the play. Forget the play. Run it up. Get your team in offense. And if you let Rondo play like that, he could be effective. If you try to control your pit bull in the yard,
I did not notice that.
But you got to make it. But you got
to. No, you got to make it. He already has a championship. No. It's been established what type of style of play he can play.
But you have to. You have to make a decision. You got to play him or not play him because they made their run when he was not in the game. You can't if he's.
No, he's just started. You got to see what he does in the third quarter.
You got to be.
But you got to let him play.
But you got to let him play. You got to
can't micromanage him.
You got to
let
be
him go.
In or you got to be out. He's not in.
They micromanage you, Rudy Tomjanovich?
I would say 75% of the plays I didn't have to look at him.
Exactly. Multiple point guards I play with, we never had to look.
Yeah.
53-51 the halftime score. James Harden has 16, 5 out of 9 from the floor. Back with more in a second on the Sprint halftime report.
Still could have dropped it over.
Welcome to the Sprint halftime report. Bring in your Verizon or AT&T bill, and we'll cut your rate plan in half.
Brent, cut your bill in halftime highlights. We take you to Cleveland.
The King!
LeBron and the Cavs taking on the Celtics. Another good start for Boston and part of a 12-2 run. They're up 9 in the second quarter.
What a pass.
Yeah,
What a finish.
that's your basic highlight reel play.
Good move here.
They would lead by 14. Isaiah Thomas.
can
And what-
score.
yeah, he can score. What I like about, as Kyrie knocks down his three, what I like about Boston is it's like, you're going to have to play playoff basketball to win. And
Beat us every time.
one time, typically 2 versus 7 and 1 versus 8, you don't have to play playoff basketball to win. They're forcing Cleveland to play playoff basketball.
LeBron had 30, past Jerry West, the logo, number 7 all-time on the playoff scoring list.
Nice.
And they take a 2-zip lead over the Seas.
In the block, but right here, they needed a big body to defend.
Good get that.
So far, he's doing pretty good. Goes up straight, left-handed. Had a conversation with B-Shaw. B-Shaw said he's a great student. And LeBron knows the importance of when your big man's playing hard, you reward him on the break.